It's almost like falling in love for the first time, all over again. Hold on tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming of definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing.
I should have started this stream like 15 minutes ago. There was so much traffic today in the city of Los Angeles. Took me an hour and 30 minutes to drive 10 miles. Tell me about it. Anyway, sit back, relax, get some popcorn, the usual. I'm scrambling to get started. We'll see how this goes. I am currently eating as we speak at the same time, so you know, multitasking the stream here. And by the way, a ton of new liveries. I don't know how to fit them all in the starting stream. I'm probably just gonna like have to chop it up and like pick a couple to show, then a couple to show next stream, and you know, there's way too many now, which is a good problem to have. I love it. Anyway. Yo, what is up? It is Juan. 5FI Racing.com channel. This is the 5 and the number 5 FI Racing.com. Twitch and YouTube if you're watching on YouTube later on. Today we're in Valencia. If you missed Monday, you know, welcome back. We're coming back to Valencia. This league full of drunks or what, bruh? Possibly. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It might be. Speed running through this because I am gonna be way behind. We got SimGrid, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit. Go ahead and click on all of them or click on just SimGrid. That is where we're going. If you missed Monday, we were in the winter series, so you know, don't miss out. We got a race next week that I'll go into later. But today We are in season 8. The rules are as follows. They are pretty much continuing just like every other season. We got the LFMBOP in use and it's updated each season. We have race drop, so 7 out of your 9 races will be considered. 2 will be dropped, so the 2 lowest ones. So if you don't race, they technically are your lowest ones. You can drop those, so you won't be penalized for it. Yellow flag compliance, obey all yellow flags. I'll show you what happens when you don't obey yellow flags. I'll show you. I got a juicy race recap for you. It's gonna be short, sweet, and concise. A penalty continuation. You know, if you get a penalty, try to serve it before you leave. We do not want to penalize you the next race. You know, it'd be bad. Code of conduct, be respectful, be nice. You can banter all you want, to be honest, as long as you keep it don't cross any lines, basically. Incident reporting, report your own incidents. Someone will be there to view it and dish out the harshest penalty known to mankind. Probably not, but you know, we can only hope. And the standings, we will quickly go over it. We have in the Ghost Splits, we have Thiago Denarte in P1 with 93 points, Chandler Williams P2 with 78 points, Albert Tranchisi P3 64.5 points, Joshua Worley P4 60 points, Ross O'Connor literally right behind him with 59 points, P5, Albert Tranchisi trying to beat them up and climb the ladder. He has 57 points. He's in P6. Greg Landry and Zane Blisket, they are tied and fighting it out. Greg is P7, Blisket is P8. Professor Chronotis a P9 with 48 points, and he's trying to defend against Zach Mandriquez, who has 45.5 points, running us off at the P10. And going over to the silvers, we have Ryan Barkins in P1 with 89 points, Christopher Greider P2 with 85 points, Pierce Hanley P3 73 points, Jeff Kelly following right behind them with 60.5 points, P4. Chris Unfair is in P5 with 60 points, literally fighting it out tooth and nail against with Jeff Kelly here. Victor Sabo getting himself involved in that tussle. He's in P6 with 59 points. You have Kyle Busch in P7 with 55.5 points, trying to defend against Brad Tarno with 52.5 points. Dixon Hurst comes in at P9 with 51 points, trying to claw his way up, trying to beat out Kyle Busch and Brad Tarno. Right under him, we have a Douglas Furnish in P10 and Justin Fry trying to get into the top 10 spot. Douglas Furnish with 42 points, Justin Fry with 41 points. He's in P11, so it's gonna be a juicy race later on tonight. Without further ado though, let me get my race recap showing here. Hopefully it shows all extra nice and well. Race 1, we had a bunch of issues, as well as like server stuff going on. It's hard to explain what exactly happened, but I tried breaking it down as much as possible. As you see there, everyone, for the most part, was nice and orderly. We had one really big issue here that involved Chris Unfair. It wasn't his fault. This was something out of his control. Race starts there, and as you'll see here, cars go through him, so the race technically wasn't registered as starting for him. And thus, mayhem starting very early into Bathurst, as soon as race starts, unfortunately. He ends up going, but he does not see the grid, does not see the lobby, and he just ends up stopping middle of the field and poofs out of existence, unfortunately. So it sucks to see that happen, but it's worth noting because of his points. because his point could be affected basically. Here you had one of our fellow drivers and everyone else not respect that yellow flag. Golly. Look at just the absolute carnage and mayhem that was turn 2 there. Ross O'Connor, not, well, was the cause of it, but not his fault. He just got a little too much curve and initiated that slip and slide. In the back, though, we had a couple of issues before Ross O'Connor's mistake here. We got an attempt to evade, which was perfectly executed, and then mayhem. It's just absolute carnage. It's honestly should have been a red flag incident, and I probably should have pressed the eject button and done that, but I just did not know where that button was. That was what I'm trying to look for, and I didn't even know if I had the power to do that. We got more replay, this time from a little drone view, overseeing everything from the aftermath of turn 2. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. Yeah. Lap 3, you had Alexander Savo and Zane Blisket battling it out. Savo in the BMW, exiting the pits. Most likely already went in there to repair for damage and stuff because of what you just saw. So Zane Blisket was able to get him off the line, overtakes him. Good move. An overtake is an overtake, and you know what? Brilliant driving, you know. In lap 6, you had Albert Jenna and Jonathan Kelly duking it out over here. Jenna going on the outside of the turn, Kelly on the inside. They're side by side in turn 2. Jenna almost goes a little bit too wide, manages to recover and falls back in line. So brilliant driving by him. Excellent defense on Kelly. He almost goes wide there too, so definitely a code brown incident for him on those 2 corners. Lap 8, you had Jeff Kelly and Jacob Myrie battling it out. Myrie lets him by, and Jeff Kelly pretty much takes the corner very nicely, but you see right behind him, Jacob Myrie is following his line, doing a really good job staying within the grid. He is actually one of the drivers that has stuck with us for such a long time, and is actually very nice seeing his drive improve throughout the whole season. He's come a long way. Justin Fry and Victor Sabo, also seasoned veterans here. Fry able to overtake Victor Sabo. Sabo, one of the other drivers, just like Myrie, who was improving season by season, day by day, and it's very nice to be able to pick that up and see it happen. And your race winner here is Jake Wells, who won race 1. Congrats to him. I am so far behind. We are going to load up a race 2 now. Show that recap. What happened here? Race 2, a lot more civilized, you can say. We're following a lot of our drivers in the back here, and we had a little bump there. You'll see Chris Unfair actually able to join us for race 2. But just a tiny bit of carnage, especially when compared to race 1. So hopefully not too many of our drivers were absolutely damaged as we jump to the absolute front, where we see Professor Pronotis. Why did I blank out on his name? Battling it out with Pierce Hanley. Pronotis comes out on top before heading up the mountain. So good race start. Better than race 1, might I say. Dare I say. Lap 2, you had Christopher Greider and Albert Guiana battling it out. Guiana behind Greider in the Mercedes-Benz goes on an attack on the inside, manages to slow the car down just enough to make the corner and complete the overtake. What a move by Guiana here. Jake Wells in lap 3 battling it out with Chandler Williams, who is right behind him in the black and red Mustang. Williams decides to go on the inside. Wells not giving up so easily, both hard on the brakes, and Chandler just able to outbrake him ever so slightly. Good move by Williams. Great attempt at defense by Jake Wells. And, good on him to hold on that line, not let intimidation factors kick in there. In lap 4, you had Kyle Busch pretty much bin it, unfortunately, and that allows Jonathan Kelly to get by him. Yeah, that was a pretty hard impact there for Kyle Busch. Lap 5, Ross O'Connor and Chandler Williams are battling it out. I do sincerely hope that our drivers are not done with qualifying here. But Ross O'Connor is on the outside. Chandler Williams decides to get on the inside, and he makes that move stick and makes it happen. What a move. And Ross O'Connor now smack dab in the middle of attacking and defending as he has another fast driver, Jake Wells, right behind him. Lap 5, you had Jake Wells and Thiago Dinarte battling it out. That might be a typo here. Oh, that was. Okay, so Jake, well, as you saw there was a huge glitch. I'll pause it here for a little moment. Or not. Didn't pause. Okay, whatever. Jake Wells had a big issue there. He disconnected and reconnected within that split second, but by the time he reconnected, he was already against the wall, so there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. That was just an unfortunate life happens type moment. In lap 5, you had Kyle Busch and Albert Guiana battling it out. Guiana overtaking Busch. Good move. Kyle Busch still trying to defend. Our yellow flag incident of the night. You had Thiago Dinarte in P1, and he just smashed into the wall pretty aggressively. This was the moment that Chandler Williams there took over and started taking control of the race. Thiago Dinarte having a severe amount of damage there, as you'll see. Steering axis out of alignment, aero damage everywhere. He was doing extremely well throughout the race, so it was quite surprising to see him go down in that fashion. Lap 8, you have Zane Blisket and Kyle Busch battling it out. Zane on the inside. Kyle Busch not able to do anything about it. He's still driving around with a little bit of damage, so that's suffering his top speed. Blisket here able to get around him because of that. Kyle Busch though, no slouch. He's on the attack. He does not give positions up that easily, so it's good to see the fight in him, even though his ride has seen better days. Lap 8, you have Thiago Dinarte overtaking Douglas Furnish in a very nice fashion there. Very smooth, very clean overtake right there. This is after he went in for pits and his repairs. So, Good driving. Lap 10. You had Douglas Furnish and Jacob Myrie battling it out. Myrie goes a little bit too wide there and allows Furnish to easily just drive by him. Unfortunate for Myrie there. Lap 12, you had Justin Fry and Thiago Denarte battling it out. Fry with a little bit of damage. Denarte, not so much. Able to overtake him there. Especially on this very long straightaway. You do not want aero damage because that'll hinder your top speed, and the walking commences from then. Lap 13, you had Zane Blisket and Christopher Greider battling it out. Zane on the inside, I guess. Well, he took that corner normally, but he ended up slipping and sliding towards the end. That allowed Christopher Greider to easily overtake him. These two battling it out. Unfortunate situation for Blisket. Not so unfortunate for Christopher Greider. So, in the final lap, we had one incident here. We're gonna watch the onboard of this guy right here, who's doing an amazing job of driving up and down the mountain, controlling the grid. And it's basically at that point where he smashes into the wall. Not too aggressively. He was able to slow himself down, but that little amount of damage was sufficient enough to allow the drivers behind him to eventually almost catch up. So Chandler Williams was about to lose ground here. As you saw there, you see one of our drivers catching up to him because of that small little incident. Nonetheless, because it was the final lap and he was pretty much very close and had a sufficiently left lead, pretty close to the finish, sufficiently left lead, ended up winning the race. So congratulations, Chandler Williams, the winner of race 2. Love to see it. If you give me a few moments, I will be attempting to connect to our server here. They are currently still on track, initiating quali. As I get set up here. This is all GT3 drivers. There is no multi-class series here, but we do have a driver class split. So you have the golds and the silvers. The golds are all competing against each other. The silvers are competing against each other. So same class of drivers, but different same class of manufacturers, the vehicles, but different class of drivers here. As currently we're watching Chandler Williams, who is out on the track currently, his P18. I highly doubt that's gonna stay at P18 anytime soon. I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say after he completes this lap, if it's valid in any ways, he's going to land himself in P3. I lied, P1. What a lap time right there with a 132.2 260. That is a fast lap right there. Dare I say that might be comparable to the lap time that I put down here in season 4. I was around the 132s, I believe, maybe 131s. So very, very nice here. Gonna jump to Zane Bliska here, who is on a hot one. He is 1 second up on his pace. He went a little bit too wide there and just dirtied the lap. Nonetheless, though, he is up on his pace, so he knows what he needs to do. His current last lap, it was a little dirty as well, but it was a 132.515, which lands him up into the top 5. So quite excited to see when he completes the lap, if he'll jump up the grid. As we now pay attention to Albergiana, who is a second up on his time, 1.2 seconds up on his time, driving the absolute wheels off that Mercedes-Benz here as he does a nice... Oh, he went a little bit too wide, so this lap is now dirty. Nonetheless, it was a 132.075. That would have jumped him up to P2. What a terrible way to finish your lap, right in the final corner too. But we know what he's capable of, so it'll be quite exciting to see him drive around this track and see what battles and what situations he gets himself in as well. Jump the grid and check out Joshua Worley, who is currently 2/10 up on his pace. A lot of our drivers end up dirtying their laps, unfortunately, especially when they make really good progress. That's Zach improves his lap by half a second, jumping up to P3. What a drive. We're gonna check out Bergiana. Oh, Landon's over P10. Chandler Williams is putting out another blazing fast lap. Actually lowered his lap from a 132 to now a 131.252, nearly a second. Absolute great driving. Zane Bliskett is coming out of nowhere and putting out some fast laps, as well as Christopher Greider. Good to see other fast drivers up on the top. We are going to... We're gonna stay here with Gianna because he's up on 1.2 seconds up on his pace. He is putting down a quick lap. Hopefully he doesn't dirty the lap as he keeps it within the lines. He is 1.3 seconds up and it's climbing. What? Why? That was so weird. On my end, it said I was watching Gianna, but it stayed with Williams. This is Gianna. So we missed him putting down that quick lap, but he ended up being in P3. Chandler Williams puts down an even faster lap though with a 130. What speed? Outrageous amount of speed there. As we check out Joshua Worley, see where he's at on the track. Normally this corner, a fairly difficult corner to get right, because one small move and you'll be hitting that gravel. Slowing down your lap time by a huge margin. As he's 3/10 up on his pace, that's gonna jump him to P9, I believe. And there he is, P9. Good driving, Joshua Worley. Have 42 seconds left on the track, or in qualifying. As Worley stays out, everyone else is pretty much returning to pitch. It's just him and Manriquez staying out. Both drivers are pretty spot on their paces. They're almost dead even to improving their lap times. Worley hitting that exit a little aggressively, but still within 2/10 of his pace. 3/10, he's up. He might make the jump and push Douglas Furnish to P9. He's gonna go to P8. Nicely done. Manriquez coming up, finishing his lap. He is 2/10 up on his pace. That's gonna push Christopher Greider from P5 to P6. Oh my god, as Zach Manriquez jumps all the way up to P3. What a drive. So hopefully you guys notice that it is nighttime here in Valencia. I did not have any nighttime footage to record beforehand. So unfortunately, you will now experience what the track is like in the daytime. At least in the B-roll shots. So head on a swivel saying good luck. Let's go, good luck everyone. And I agree. I was a little worried that I would have to reconnect chat there because they weren't popping up. While we wait, I can go ahead and show a little bit of the track experience here of yours truly. We'll boot it up on the screen really quick. Screw the transition. I believe this was a very low 132 to very high 131, so nowhere near Chandler Williams' level at this current moment. The 130. But this was in season 4, and I was driving, and I was catching up to another fairly quick driver. His name is Bruno Mayanki. I was in the BMW, shocker. Decided to drive BMW for a season instead of the Lamborghini, and I might say it was a nice car. I like how it easily goes over bumps. I am gonna cut this short though, No, but as you'll notice, I am slowly catching up and eventually providing a ton of pressure. The final corner of this track is also a section of the track that everyone needs to pay attention to, because if you go wide, it's going to ruin your exit, and a lot of our drivers will be able to catch up. Overtake you potentially. As our drivers are lined up, we have Chandler Williams in P1, Zane Blisket in P2, Zach Manriquez P3, Albergiana not far behind P4, Professor Cronotas right behind them. That rounds up our top 5. He's in P5. Christopher Grider, he's in P6. Chris Unfair P7. Joshua Worley P8. Douglas Furnish P9, and Lucan Braidlove, he rounds up our top 10. He's in P10. Jacob Myrie P11. Alexander Savo P12. Beatty Budd P13. Our drivers are starting their cars, their engines up. The race is going to be kicking off very, very soon. Brad Tarno P14. Miguel Cesarian in the Panda Mercedes. We love it. P15. Justin Fry P16. Raleigh Dutchy, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that name wrong. P17. Thiago Denarte P18. He might have joined late, or maybe he's doing a last to first type of run here. That'll be pretty wild. The race is going to be starting very, very soon. We're gonna slowly turn down and eventually turn off the music here. As the drivers are out, we have Williams in front, Blisket right behind him. A couple of our drivers are going a little bit wide, but that's to be expected as these two get into contact. He's gonna bump into the driver in front. Luckily, no other major incidents are currently occurring there. A couple of our drivers are going a little bit off track. Oh, I spoke way too soon. Who was that? Was that... Is that Jacob Myrie? That is Jacob Myrie. I wonder what happened there. We have a bunch of accidents. We'll review this later on as we check out Professor Chronotis, who is on a lap. Justin Fry, everyone is on a lap here. Also, a lot of contact being made. A lot of accidents are being recorded on my end. We got a lot to review on our downtime. As we'll stick with these two. Alexander Sabo is trying to make some headway against Lucan Bredlov here. Sabo taking the inside line. This awkward positioning. Miguel Cesarian right behind him. Even more awkward. Lose it out on the potential top speed run there. We jump back to Chronotis, who's trying to take down Zach Manriquez, currently in P3. Zane Blisket is attempting to not let Chandler Williams run away, as he's 1.6, roughly 1.6 seconds ahead, or behind Chandler Williams. Zach, a fellow seasoned driver here who doesn't get intimidated very easily, and in fact does a lot of the intimidating himself. He likes to end up flashing a lot of our drivers, just for shits and giggles too. He just live for fun. Here in the night though, if you flash a driver, you do it at the right time, you'll potentially distract them just good enough to force him into a mistake as Thiago, Denarte, and Spady Bud have some sort of contact here. It was recorded. I'm not too sure what was going on with that, but we'll be reviewing that momentarily as we have a driver entering the field in a precarious spot where we got fast guys coming by. Luckily, he sees it, moves out of the way, lets them pass and continue their fight. I think that was Jacob Myrie, so good, respectable driving there. Safety rating, top 10 right there. Or top tier. We're gonna be leaving these two and let this battle simmer as we have a new battle emerging between Justin Fry and Miguel Cesarion. It's looking like nothing's gonna happen between these two at this current moment. Check out what these two are doing. We're gonna keep an eye on that, just in case any mistakes made. Catch an eventual overtake happen on screen as Diego Denarte, oh my god, just catches up to Justin Fry. What is driving by this guy? He is out of this world. Definitely an alien amongst us. As he's now going on the attack against Miguel Cesarion here. Into the final corner. Hopefully he'll break in the straight line, hit the apex, and get that top speed as Miguel Cesarion makes the mistake. Good execution by Thiago Denarte here. Unfortunate for Miguel Cesarion to make the mistake and allow such an easy overtake to occur. As we'll jump back to the front, the battle for P3 is heating up. Professor Chronotis and now breathing down Zach Manriquez's neck. Breathing in and taking in all that exhaust fumes. This battle goes the distance though. These two are going to have something else to worry about as Albert Guiana is fairly close by. Any mistake by these two as, my goodness, Chronotis gets very close. Any mistake by these two, and that's gonna introduce Guiana into this mix. As well as Christopher Greider, depending on how big the mistake is, as Zach Manriquez goes way wide. Loses out on 2 positions. As he makes that mistake, Chandler Williams puts the new fastest lap of the night with a 131.192. That's going to be heartbreaking for Zach because he lost 2 positions and he's potentially going to be losing 1 more here. As he's now put in a position to fight against Christopher Greider, who is hungry to get to the top 5 as Greider goes on the inside. Zach forced to stay on the outside, holding his line though. What a move by Christopher Greider there. Unfortunate for Zach. 1 mistake, not even tiny, because that was pretty major there. 1 big mistake and cost him that much time. Went from P3 to P6. That's not to say he can't make it up though, but it's anyone's guess as to what's gonna happen here. We have 22 minutes left on the race. I do believe this is a dual sprint, if I'm not mistaken, so our drivers, I believe, do not have to pit. Now, pitting is not required here, so it's pretty much gas and go. As we'll let this battle simmer. After they hit the final corner, we'll jump and check out Spady Bud versus Justin Fry here. Very nice. Bud getting closer and closer to Justin Fry. But absolutely destroying that corner. What speed! Took that corner brilliantly, and Justin Fry was forced to relinquish that battle. Or that position there. That's not to say though, Justin Fry is not giving up so easily. He is putting the pressure on, but as he goes a little bit too wide, the fight got to him. In the heat of the moment, he probably missed his braking marker and puts a little wide. As now that we have a bunch of time on our hands, we're gonna start checking out some accidents here. What happened here? I believe it was... Where was it? I'm gonna check this accident out here. Bear with me as we're loading up the replay. We're currently viewing Spady Bud. Goes on the inside of Brad Tarno. I don't believe this was the incident, but it did get they both got a little squirrely there. There was another major incident. The one where I believe it was Jacob Myrie. I'm gonna check that out. I believe this might be it as we load up another incident here. Nope. I'm just getting... There were so many accidents, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what went down and where. Oh, we caught it up in the top right-hand corner there. Getting warmer as we'll jump back and check out a few of our other drivers. Zach Manriquez getting closer and closer to Christopher Kreider as Gianna getting closer and closer to Zach. While we still have more time, a lot of our drivers are getting separated from one another. I will continue to track down what happened up in the front. Breedla. Doing a lot of damage actually, going into the pits. Wrong driver, there we go. Where did the damage come from? To be honest, let's track that down here. Give me one moment as we load up a potential accident here. What caused him to sustain such a bad accident? What damage? So far, so good. He's on the inside of a fairly fast corner. Hard on the brakes. Oh, just wipes out. Head first into a wall. That... brutal. Unfortunate. As we have a penalty dished out here. We have a drive-through penalty that was just cleared by driver number 55. Who is that? That is Jacob Myrie. He got a drive-through penalty. Where is he? He's over here and currently in P18. I wonder About to say, I wonder what he's doing to get those penalties, but now we see what he might be doing. As we're gonna jump to Thiago Denarte, who's trying to make moves on Douglas Furnish. This guy, a very fast driver, knows when to start trying to pick apart his opponent here. We're gonna jump into the passenger seat with him and try to see what he sees as he gets a little squirrely. Coming out of that corner. Goes outside wide. Tries to cut in, but gets denied by Furnish here. What defense. As now he goes way too wide. And allows Thiago Denarte to get through. Oh, what an unfortunate series of events there. Also good to know we have Thiago Denarte putting down the fastest lap of the night with a 1:30.820. Barely beating out Chandler Williams' 1:30.910. Literally 1/10 second faster. As we're checking out Miguel Cesarian, who is potentially going to be making moves on Speedy Bud. The heat of the moment got to him. Spady Bud able to create a huge distance as Miguel loses his braking marker into turn 1. Good attempt to try to force a mistake. Even better that Spady Bud just ignored what was going on behind them, as we are seeing Miguel Cesarian potentially struggling just a little bit. His tires might be a little overheated as he's getting a little squirrely, a little too squirrely here. As something interesting to note, we have Joshua Worley out on the field. He is currently in P14. He's doing a no traction control challenge here, where he runs traction control at 0, meaning his foot is the traction control. He gives it a little bit too much throttle and he'll spin out, and we get to what to save him in the chat. Respectfully, of course. But I actually like that he's doing that. Forces you to drive cleaner. And eventually learn how to save the slides naturally. That's one of the hardest things to pick up while driving, especially when going very, very fast. Riley Dutcher right now currently in the pits. I'll be honest, I am unsure why he's in the pits. Highly unsure why he's in the pits. As a vast majority of our drivers are now being split from each other. Valencia separating the pack very nicely. As Spady Bud approaches Alexander Sabo, he is 4/10 behind them. He goes outside, tries to hit the apex as clean as possible, and get that slipstream from Alexander Sabo. be honest, a lot of our drivers are going into the pits. I am starting to suspect that everyone might need to pit. Unless these are just one-offs. And count. Oh my god, look at that exhaust tip glow red off the side of his car. That is one hot car. Or one hot exhaust. And you'll see the flames being spit out as these drivers are downshifting. Yes, Spady Bud. Still on Alexander Sabo. I guess we do have to pit. We have Chandler Williams pitting. Professor Cornotis pitting. Zach Mandriquez pitting. Thiago Denarte pitting. Douglas Furnish pitting. The whole crew is pitting. Interesting. Spady Bud pitting. Huh. Will be interesting to pull up here is the pit stops right now. Pull it up right now. It is not complete yet by the drivers who are in the pit. Gets updated once they leave the pit. But it does look like everyone has to pit today. Something I don't typically see in dual sprints. Unless we've been here for so long and I just lost track of time so well that we only have 10 minutes left on the race for one race night type of event, but you know, highly doubt. You know what is going on the inside of Justin Fry? Fry able to give up the position. Might also give up the position to Joshua Worley here. No, wait. Who is that driver? That's Lucan Breedlove. Breedlove. Like, his last name, I don't know why. But I see bread. Not a breed. As Fry gets very squirrely coming out of the final corner. We have a yellow flag on Joshua Worley here. We'll go ahead and check that out. Let's see what exactly happened here. Why that happened. As we load the replay up, here is the replay. What happened to Mr. Worley here? Went a little wide, that's normal to be expected, and oh, it just goes wide on the throttle too aggressively. What a sick 360. He just wanted to show off. Nice. Style points right there. So we got the camera pointed to Christopher Kreider, who's getting closer and closer to Professor Carnotus. Yago Denarte 1/10 of a second from Justin Fry as Fry wipes out. Oh, where is he? That might be turn 1. That is turn 1. Rally Dutchy also having a yellow flag here. He pulls himself out of that situation where before turn 1. Now that is an incident that we will actually investigate after we see what Chandler Williams is doing to Alexander Sabo. He's getting very, very close. Currently Sabo in P2. We have Zane and Blisket in P1. I think Chandler might have the top speed on Sabo here. They're almost side by side going into turn 1, hard on the brakes. Chandler making the corner, Sabo making the corner. What a move. Good, brilliant driving. Now let's see if Greider and Chronotis can do the same. Hard on the brakes. Chronotis goes wide. Greider stays it between the lines, keeps it between the lines. Putting a ton of pressure on Chronotis. Chris Unfair off camera makes a move on Justin Fry. We're gonna check that out, see what's going on here as these two keep fighting it out. We might have to just stay and check out what's happening between Chris Unfair and Fry in a couple minutes. As Chronotis almost successfully makes the switchback happen. He's currently on the inside. I don't know if he cut that corner, but if he didn't, that is a cheat code. Someone just got a stop and go penalty. Driver numbered 221. Who is that? That's Spady Bud. Oh, how unfortunate. As Chronotis is being pulling out all the stops in Sector 3 here. Separating himself from Christopher Greider. The battle between Chris Unfair and Justin Fry is also over. At least momentarily. As Alexander Sabo is now in the pits. He's dropping positions very quickly. Other drivers go through him or go by him. All hard drivers will have their pit stop requirement. I guess there was one completed after Sabo and Fry come out of the pits. We're going to have two exciting battles. The one for P3 between Chronotis and Greider. And the one soon to be is the one between Zane and Blisket and Chandler Williams. Zane currently in P1 trying to hold off that Mustang. Valencia, a fairly hard track to overtake. We're gonna see Chandler Williams do a successful what was that? There's a move, it was called, I forgot what the name was, but he pulled it off successfully. Got flashed by Blisket. And he overdrove just a tiny bit, hit the gravel, slowed himself a substantial amount because of that. Good moves. Off in the background, we saw Douglas Furnish. He overtook Joshua Worley, but that's because he's in the pits. Never mind. Just kidding. Thought there was a battle there. Anyway, since we have him here, let's check out his vehicle. Cool color scheme here. It's giving me hopefully this doesn't come off as like I'm making fun of him. While I talk about his car, we try to remember that as we all point the camera here to Breedlove and Justin Fry as they're having a big battle. As our leader is now in the final lap. These two are not giving up that fight. They're fighting it out to the bitter end here. And we love to see it. Love just slightly faster than Fry here at this current moment. Able to start pulling away since he now has clean air. Hopefully Justin Fry can challenge soon. Not if he makes a mistake like that. Well, there goes that. I don't believe there will be another battle between these two. The Chronotis is 1.8 seconds ahead of Christopher Kreider. Furnish and Unfair might have a potential battle brewing here in the final lap of the race. They're within a second and a half of each other. If Chronotis doesn't make a mistake here, this is going to be his win. Well, he's gonna hold on to P4 and or P3, excuse me. It's a top 3 finish for him as we see the fireworks up in the front. Chandler Williams already crossed the finish line. Christopher Kreider in P4 and Brother Chronotis in P3. We're gonna see Douglas Furnish potentially try to challenge Unfair. No, he just gets closer and closer. That would have been a nice battle. Chris Unfair takes P7, Douglas Furnish in P8, and your winner is Chandler Williams here, who came in at P1. Zane Bliskin, no slouch, coming in at P2 as well. And Professor Chronotis in P3 here. Coming up to finish is Alexander Salo, who's currently in P9. He's going to hold on to that position. Right behind him, we have Brad Tarno going to be crossing soon. Goes a little bit too wide there. P10. We got the Squatch Monster over here saying he hates racing. I don't believe you. I don't believe it by one bit. As who else is left? The only 2 drivers that are technically still in the race would be Riley Dutchy, who's in the pits, and Albert Guiana. What is he doing in the pits? They had a yellow flag incident that we can actually review here. See what happened to Guiana. What did I miss? That was not the yellow flag incident. Wait, might have been the yellow flag incident. What? He just ran into the... I'm gonna chalk it up to something really, really bad happened to the car and he could not control it. In the meantime, while we let the timer run out and we wait for race 2 to start, actually, I'm confused. I'm honestly gonna check this out. Hold on. There's no way that much time passed. Is there? What is this race? Excuse me while I... It's a dual sprint. Okay. Why does it feel like we started so late? Hmm. Well, why I have you guys here, might as well take care of a little bit of housekeeping here. This is the GT3, GT4 multi-class 6-hour enduro event that is being hosted by Trackalicious in partnership with 5FI Racing, Degenerate Race League, DRL, New World Sim Racing, NWSR, and the Sim Racing Alliance, SRA. Right now we are at capacity, but you can still register as a reserve. We have, let me double check for you, 3 reserve spots left for the GT3s and 4... Oh no, I'm sorry, and 3 reserve spots left for the GT4s. So 3 and 3. So if you'd like to race in this, which is going to be happening December 14th at 9 p.m. my time. AM my time. Go ahead and register for this because it's gonna be pretty wild. We still have our drivers sitting in the pits. Lately, I'll be honest, we've been having server issues, so I hope this is not one of those days where the server decides to turn upside down. In the meantime, because I got home so late, I'm gonna be eating. Waiting for our drivers to finish up here. Or for the server to switch. I'm reading the comments that our drivers are putting down here. And Zach Manriquez is saying that he takes turn 1 like a jackass. We're going to heavily investigate and put that on blast next time, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna see what and how he took turn 1. I swear, we're gonna have another server issue. We got drivers asking if race 2 is tonight. Awkward.
Close your eyes.
So, dad jokes. What do you call a fake noodle? This is blatantly obvious, and you're gonna be so upset that you guys didn't know this answer. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. What is a funny mountain called? It is not called Mount Panorama. Okay. It is not called Bathurst. But what is a funny mountain called? You have to know this one. For every dad joke I tell, you have to chug a whole can of beer. This is rules of the stream. Okay. So a funny mountain is called hilarious. Oh god. What do you call a song about a tortilla, huh? Hmm? This one is extremely obvious, and you're gonna kick yourself because you don't know it. This is gonna be 3 beers you guys are all chugging now. And if you're racing tonight and listening to this, yeah, I better not see. Well, I mean, you can drink and drive if you want. I mean, but I do not recommend it, especially while you're racing this aggressively with every other driver here on the grid. What do you call a song about a tortilla? A rap, ladies and gentlemen. You call it a rap. Why does it still say drive? Once again, we're gonna take a quick look at the grid, and we're actually gonna do something different tonight. We're gonna fly through the whole grid. Cause why not? Actually quite nice seeing the drivers like this. Lights out and everything. As we are now on our way here. Drivers are gonna be lining up very soon, as soon as the green flag is out. Race 2 begins. And the race begins. Hopefully, no carnage. Turn 1 or turn 2. I'm holding my breath here as we already have something going down in the back. Ooh, Chris Unfair getting close to Chronotis. Chronotis, nearly missing Yenna there. We're gonna check these guys out. Grider going off. Furnish almost runs into Whirly. Everybody is squirrely, and oh no, there goes Swirly! What a save! It doesn't hit the wall. Hell yeah, dude. Unfortunate. I mean, spinning out like that, but look, no damage. This is what we love to see. What a play there. Wow. Exactly. That was most definitely calculated there. As we're gonna jump through the grid, we're gonna check out what's going down to all our drivers here. As Chris Unfair tries to make moves happen on Chronotis. Chronotis making a mistake. Going up the hill there. The very quick right-hander. We have potential contacts with Sapo, Rally Duchy. A bunch of incidents here. Lap 1, like, what is this? 11 incidents, 11 accidents that are being recorded on my end. So race 2 is our drivers have their elbows out. As we're gonna try to keep a camera pointed on these two here. Manriquez versus Albergiana and Chris Unfair versus Chronotis here. Finally in front of him. I missed where he did that, but let's go. Thiago Denarte down there battling it out with Spady Bud. Christopher Grider trying to stay within an arm's reach of Thiago Denarte and just following him. Unfair going a little bit wide, but still ahead of Chronotis. As Zach and Gienna keep each other very, very honest. No one allowed to make mistakes. Because you'll drop positions very quickly. We have a driver entering the pit. Who is that? That is Brad Tarno. He might be going for an undercut strategy here. Potentially trying to split himself from the group and get some clean air by the time he gets out. Which is honestly not a bad strategy. If he's able to pull it off, that'll be a wild thing. We're gonna momentarily let these battles here on screen, we're gonna let them all simmer. We're going to move on to Spady Bud and Whisper Grider here. We're gonna go down the list, see where everyone is at. What are they all getting involved in? Where are they getting involved in? As I lie, we're gonna jump back to Professor Chronotis here. Who is on Chris Unfair. He is putting the pressure on this guy. Unfair being a very competent driver here. He's very, very fast if you allow him to get his way. His only downfall that I notice is a track consistency. which is something that we all suffer from time to time. You'll make one mistake here or there, and it potentially can cost you the run or the night, depending on how severe it was. I know that's definitely something that I need to work on, being off the track for so long, so... just food for thought. As we stick with this battle. Cornotis just intimidating Chris Unfair here. Or attempting to. The Chris Unfair almost looking unfazed, just holding his line. And sticking to his line if he doesn't see a potential attack being made out on him. As Chris takes that corner extremely well. Starts dropping Cronotas there. They're doing a really good job of staying ahead and not allowing Cronotas to get close to him. He's also slowly catching up to Zach Manriquez here in the front. And Zach is starting to pull away from Gianna. Gianna finally getting into the groove of things of race 2, and he is looking to secure at least P3. Chandler Williams is still in P1 along with Zane Blisket, who is in P2. It's looking like if barring any other incidents, these two might once again take P1 and P2. And I want to say these two, but it's honestly 3 drivers now, since Zach Manriquez is too close for comfort. I would say he's gonna have to keep his eyes on his rearview mirror if he makes any more mistakes or if he starts slowing down. Gianna not out of the woods yet. He is still within an arm's reach. So anyone's game here, really. Same thing with Zane Bliske here, as if we'll point the camera to him. Robert is right there, so they're all within an arm's reach of each other, keeping each other honest. No mistakes. Or a limited amount of mistakes can be made. Or minimum amount of mistakes can be made. So we'll jump throughout the whole grid, check out Breedlove here, who is up against Jacob Myrie here, trying to get into the top 10 spot. Myrie holding it down. And so far doing a darn good job at keeping Breedlove behind him, controlling the pace. This for him. Notice once again within 3/10 of unfair. We're gonna let that battle continue simmering, since I am pretty sure nothing is gonna come out of that. We'll just keep moving through the grid. We're gonna check out Miguel Cesarian here, who was getting pretty close to Alexander Sabo. Not anymore though. Up in the top you have Albert Gianna getting close to Zane Bliske, so he is putting down some fast laps. Quite in fact though, his last lap was a 1:31.5 compared to Zane's 1:32 flat, so he's on a mission. Albert Gianna is on a mission. We're gonna keep moving through the grid here and see what's gonna happen. The battle we have right on screen right now is the battle for P12. So we'll let this battle simmer. We'll see what's gonna come up with this, or come about from that. Going back to the top, checking out Chronotis on Affair. If this battle goes the distance, these two are going to have their tires worn out. And we might have a potential show during the final laps of the race. As off screen, we have Breedlove overtaking Jacob Myrie here. Myrie slowing down, not sure why. He had a white flag on him. Good move regardless though. The battle for P9, I believe, is currently on between these three drivers. Speedy Bud gets a little squirrely there. That's gonna allow Brila to catch up, as was Jacob Meyer, who's being towed along him. As he almost goes a little wide there. As he now goes a little wide there. Forces Myrie here to hit the brakes momentarily to avoid a crash there. But he's on the attack. He has the inside. He holds the inside. Hard on the brakes. He gave up the corner there. A good attempt there to try to overtake. Love to see it. Love to see it. But Chandler Williams goes in the pits. Allows Zane Bliske, who stays out of the pits, to jump to P1. Albert Guiana jump into P2. Zach Manriquez going to P3. Unfair P4. Chronotis P5. Everyone's jumping. Furnish going to P6. Christopher Grider going to P7. At least until everyone else decides to get their pit stop. Currently, the two guys moving up on the grids and securing the, what's the word I'm looking for? The most positions moved up of the night is Spady Bud and Rally Dutchy. They both have moved up 4 positions. Great driving by both those two guys. As Manriquez goes into the pits. Let's Unfair and Chronotis battle each other out. Whirly with another yellow flag there. Must be having a rough time right now compared to race 1. We're gonna let this battle simmer. We're gonna go down the list and check out the battle between Grider and Furnish. Forgot to mention, and you know those workout videos back in the old days, like those 80s or 90s videos where you have those the trainers in like wild outfits or whatever. That's what this color scheme reminds me of. Like he's over here, like, do some jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not to say that it's not bad. I like it. I like it. A cool design for the BMW. I like it. This reminds me of that. Chronotis deciding to pit leaves Chris Unfair out on his own. Grider going wide there. Hopefully he didn't get a track cut because of that. As we'll cut into a quick view of Chris of Unfair driving by his very self. Almost sliding out there. He is pushing. As we have a driver. Was Lucan Breadlove. I wonder what happened to him. We have a bit of more time. We'll go and check out the incidents. Do some quick reviews. In the meantime, we're gonna jump to the battle between Joshua Worley and Brad Tarno. Mr. No TC himself is trying to intimidate Tarno here. And up ahead of him, you have Zach Manriquez getting really, really close to Alexander Sabo. Again, Valencia, a pretty hard track to overtake in. As why did that look like Zach was losing control? What a move! Oh my, he almost goes wide there. That corner has a very devastating bump if you get close to it, as you saw Manriquez's car jump up and down. Sabo not giving up. He is still within a second. Manriquez here. Speedy Bud and Brad Tarno have a yellow. Bud Flash and Tarno. I wonder what happened there. And now that we do... we had a little bit of time. Oh! Well, now we do have plenty of time here, now that everyone's let off from each other. The only battle that's close is Zach Manriquez and Alexander Sabo. Let's go down the list and see what happened here. Lap 12. Between Tarno and Furnish here. Furnish exiting the pits. This turn 1. Oh, just... Tarno might have not seen him. That's just... took his line. That's just terrible. That just sucks. And the incident before them... try to pinpoint it right now. Let's find that. I'm not mistaken here. What happened here? We have Tarno and Worley still battling it out. I believe that's Spady Bud in front. Oh, he cuts in deep! And we get it. We get the replay cut off. Well, don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We'll potentially see that in the The next race recap. Damn it, I want to see what. Oh man. Let's see if I can find that. Here I'm loading up another replay of that. Hopefully, another view of that. A longer view of that. So Brad ends up going a little bit too deep, tries to evade at last second, ends up clipping. No, okay, we can't do it. Well, regardless, we have Worley here battling it out with Justin Fry. On the outside of the final corner, what a move by Joshua Worley. Justin Fry not giving up either, has the pace to pull up right alongside him. Into turn one, and he overtakes him back. Worley forced to do all that work once again, as never mind, Worley seizes the opportunity since Justin Fry went a little bit too wide there in turn two. Good racing there. Gonna jump to, well, we already off the air. Christopher Greider and Alexander Sabo had an exchange. Christopher Greider moved on up. Alexander Sabo lost a position, so he's currently in P8. Greider in P7. We're gonna pull up the pit stops here so we can all see who has completed their pit stops, and never mind. It is not updated. I will let you know. We have Chris Unfair still needing to complete his pit stop. And we have Breedlove exiting the pits there. He's completed his pit stop. We have Justin Fry and Alexander Sabo also needing to complete their pit stops. As many of our drivers are now split apart from each other. I'm gonna take the time to pull up some more potential yellow flag incidents here. Or not to sully the night, actually, we can pull up a best session and lap of the night here by Chandler Williams right now. He pulled off a 1:30.817 in lap 6. That was such an abrupt cutoff. We need to work on those cut-ins or whatever. We have, oh my, Jacob Myrie here slowing down and having an accident of some sorts. Happened to him? He had a yellow flag. We're gonna review this because that was quite unusual. What happened to Myrie here? Oh, just hits that bump aggressively and almost loses control. What a recovery. As Worley comes from the outside, almost clips into him. They almost make contact there. Good awareness by Worley and Myrie at the end though to avoid contact. That would have ended pretty bad. friend here who let me know that the race at night was very enjoyable. Currently watching right now. And I will agree, I tend to enjoy my night races, even though I hate driving at night. I know, weird to say. I like night races, but I hate driving at night. Yeah. Make it make sense. Brad Tarno is getting closer and closer to Spady Bud, though. I do not need to make sense out of that. Tarno... a little over a second faster than Bud, so he closed the gap significantly. Bud is gonna have to go on some hard defense very soon. Especially with Tarno, who is quite experienced and knows how to get around when he needs to. Be interesting to see where he decides to make his move happen, as he's currently still in stalking mode and not closing the gap, but not leaving the gap open and expanding on that gap. And still hovering around 0.8 of a second, very consistently, might I say, throughout this entire lap too. Minus that one section, as soon as I open my mouth, he drops it. Streamer's curse, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, though, him and Spady Bud have nearly identical lap times there. They're both running 1:34.2s. Where it differs is in the hundredths of a second mark. Bud running... what is this? 300ths of a second slower than Brad Tarno. The difference is ever so minute, but still there. Any progress is good progress, especially when it comes to racing. You'll win by the tiniest of margins. Brad tries to make Spady Bud make a mistake. But hitting those apexes and closing those doors for both of these drivers, running very consistent laps here. Once again, running 1:34s. Well, this is the final lap of the race. It is a now or never for these two drivers. As we have Chris Unfair with had a yellow flag very quickly. Turned to a white flag. Zach Manrique is able to overtake him. Now, we have time. We'll go and investigate and see what exactly happened here. But Brad Tarno putting on the pressure on Spady Bud here. Bud is definitely taking notice that he was going a little wide, getting a little squirrely coming out of corners. As these two are still finding it out. I do believe these two have one more lap left. After this, even though our leader is in the final lap, our leader being Chandler Williams, who has dominated this race. He is 21 seconds ahead of Zane Blisket. Zane being in P2. Albert Guiana has a white flag on him off screen. He's in P3 right now. These two are now in their final lap. Brad Tarno, this is his final opportunity to get around him and join the P10 spot, or the top 10 spot, and he closes the gap very quickly there. He drops 0.5 of a second, half a second here. Parno really good and consistent in Sector 1. Where he starts to fall apart is the halfway point of Sector 2 and potentially Sector 3. He's gonna have to try to force a mistake here on Spady Bud, who seems to be closing the door and not allowing Tarno to get through. By the way, Chandler Williams, congrats once again. Your race 2 winner, Zane Blisket. Congrats once again for being in P2 as Bud hits that curb aggressively. This is Brad's opportunity. It is now or never. He has to try to make a move happen or make a mistake here, and Bud just doing the absolute most here. Running a perfect last final corners as he spins out there. What a race. What a finish. Nighttime driving in Valencia, that was an experience. I don't know if anyone's gonna want to do interviews, but if they do, I'll go ahead and entertain a few. I'm going to lobby or channel here. See if anyone joins. I don't believe anyone's gonna be here, but if they don't, what a race. Congrats to Zane Blisket and Chandler Williams for P1 and P2. And Albert Guiana for his race 2 P3 spot. Congrats on that. We saw a lot of battles, so that was quite fun to see. One thing I do want to see... no, never mind. Let's do that. The game crashed on me. I was gonna try to pull up a replay and see what happened to Chris Unfair at the end of the yellow flag, but that is something that we can pull up towards the end of, or not the end, for next race recap, if I can remember. Well, I am going to call it here. I don't think anyone is joining, but I'll keep the line open just in case. as we start the exit sequence, I guess is what you would call it. Once again, the GT3, GT4 Multi-Classics Hour Enduro, you can go ahead and reserve as a team. There are 3 spots for the GT3s and GT4. This is going to be in December 14, hosted by Trackalicious in partnership with 5FI Racing, Degenerate Racing League, New World Sim Racing. Why? Excuse me. And Sim Racing Alliance. So if you want to register, or if you can't make the registration because it gets full, or you can't make the race, go ahead and watch it because it'll be live streaming. It'll be quite exciting to see. Nonetheless, though, we are going to do the closing sequence here, I guess. This is our beautiful website. That's 5firacing.com. It's 5, the number 5. 5firacing.com. Excuse me. If you are currently watching us on Twitch, or that's the live stream, hello and thank you for sticking around. If you're watching the replays as well, that's on YouTube, what is up, dudes? I hope you guys had a great time enjoying the race. You can follow us and check us out on Instagram. Like every single photo. I heard that's mandatory. And if you just want to see what the crew is just talking about in chat, whether it be off-topic Call of Duty shenanigans that I've been seeing and other things, you can go ahead and click on Discord and see what's going on. But we're gonna ignore those and go to SimGrid here. Our next race in the GT3s will not be next week. It'll be 2 weeks from now. And we are going to Zandvoort. We are skipping a week since the race falls on Thanksgiving, and you know, we want to spend Thanksgiving with our friends and family here. Even though as much as I like to stream and entertain you guys over the Thanksgiving break, you're gonna have to just watch a replay or something. So that's gonna be in Zandvoort. In the winter series, though, there is a race next week. This is gonna be Monday. It's gonna be a cold one here, and it's gonna be in Donington Park. 60 minutes in Donington Park in the GT4s and M2s. Just as what Albert here says, it's called a puncture. Why? Oh, you know, hold on. As I make adjustments on the fly here. Just notice we don't have Twitch chat up. Actually don't know where quite to put him, but he says puncture park. That is quite basically what it is. Hit a curb, pop a tire. Be careful. Oh, but that's gonna be Monday next week, 60 minutes, November 25th, 7 o'clock. I will potentially see you there if you're around to see that. As for the M4s, I mean M2s, GT4s, that would be very cool if we can actually have some M4s here on. But once again, nonetheless, I think we're sticking here, sticking around, and you're welcome, head on a soul. You know, it's my pleasure, as the Chick-fil-A employees would say. If I can stream it, I'll try my hardest to do it. If I can't, I'll make up an extremely good excuse of why I couldn't. Like traffic today almost ruined it, but you know, we made it home. I'll see you guys next week, Monday, not Thursday. 2 weeks from that. We'll see you back here in the GT3s. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your night, wherever you are. Just be good people, be good humans, and have a good night. At least on my end, have a good night. See you guys next time.
Baby, I'm calling for you, and I'm stuck in a loop. Baby, I'm calling for you, and I'm stuck in a loop. Baby, I'm calling for you, and I'm stuck. Baby, I'm calling for you, and I'm stuck in a loop. Baby, I'm calling for you, and I'm stuck in a loop. I'm stuck in a loop.
I guess if you're still here, you guys want to hear another joke since I'm in a joking mood. What is Forrest Gump's password? What is his password, ladies and gentlemen? I know there's probably like 3 of you still here. I will tell you his password. Run a link, deleted and run. Oh wait, I still don't have. Wow, man, I need to remember to put the browsers and everything everywhere. It's 1Forest1. I'll see you guys another day. It's a 1Forest1. See you guys. Have a good night.